Today, I'm going to tell you about some great rural towns in South Carolina. If you haven't watched videos in this series before, let me explain. More and more people are leaving the cities and suburbs for retirement or because they can work remotely. These people are looking for rural small towns. They want low crime, internet, affordable housing, and access to healthcare. So we've researched the states looking for that sweet spot that fits those requirements. Not all states have many rural towns that are in that sweet spot. South Carolina is one of them. Crime is what kicked a lot of rural communities to the curb in the Palmetto State. I don't know what the deal is with this state, but the crime rates are through the roof in most rural towns. There was a lot of really neat ones like on lakes and rivers, and I thought they'd be great, and then I look and their crime rate's like 75% above the national average. Now they have the problems that contribute to a high crime rate like most states, drugs and poverty. They just seem to have a bunch of idiots doing a bunch of stupid stuff in these small rural towns. 90% of the people in any town are wonderful people just trying to live their lives. Then you have that 10% that are really getting after it. In South Carolina, they got some real go-getters when it comes to stupidity. And crime is why we only found 5 good rural towns in South Carolina. One of them probably shouldn't even be on this list because it's a little too big, but we still included it because it's kind of away from most metro areas and it's still kind of rural even though it's not. Hard to explain. Anyway, at the end of the video, let us know in the comment section if you think we missed one or let us know which one was your favorite. Get it? Got it? Good. Let's take a look. Number 5, Palmetto, South Carolina. Palmetto is a small rural town a little west of the Great Petey River, which, if you don't know about this river, it has great catfish, gar, and bass fishing. Go on YouTube and type "fishing Great Petey River." You'll find all kinds of good videos. Palmetto is a solid place to live for people that enjoy a strong community, the outdoors, and old water towers. Look at this gem. Here it is from the back. Here it is with a cheetah cowboy hat on. Uncle Sam's hat here, and of course here's the tinfoil hat version. Palmetto sits about an hour northwest of Myrtle Beach, and it has 1,200 residents that get a big thumbs up for their crime rate. Palmetto has a crime rate that's 48% below the national average, so that's pretty good. They also get a thumbs up for their internet. They have gig internet from Spectrum, which only covers 60% of the town, but Frontier Fiber covers 90% of the town. They don't tell you what the speeds are on the websites. You got to call in, but it's fiber, so you know it's going to be at least 100 Mbps. So that's good. That's why they get a thumbs up. When it comes to healthcare, they also get a thumbs up. They have some doctors in town and an MUSC health clinic. If you need a hospital, emergency room, and all that stuff, you're going to have to head west to Lake City Community Hospital, about 22 minutes away. They got the ER and all the bells and whistles you're going to need. And if that doesn't cut it for you, I'm sure up there in Florence, about 30 minutes away will. That's to the north. When it comes to real estate, they get a big thumbs up. Their real estate prices are really low here. Currently, they have a nice 4-bedroom, 3-bath. It's an older home that's recently been remodeled and looks really nice. It's going for about $250,000. That's the most expensive thing they got going right now. They've got a whole bunch of half acres and quarter acre lots for sale that go for around $10,000. In recent months, back in May and April of 2022, they sold some decent homes for under $120,000, like 4 or 5 of them. These were older homes that were decent, well maintained. You could move right in and start living your life. Interesting fact about Palmetto, it is a little east of Coward, South Carolina. Yeah, you heard me right. They have a place called Coward. Number 4, Walhalla, South Carolina. Walhalla sits about an hour west of Greenville, South Carolina, at the foot of the mountains. This town has one of those nice little main streets that you see in postcards from America. The town seems like it's that right kind of quiet. You know, you wanted to live a nice, quiet life, move to Walhalla. Walhalla sits at the base of some mountains, and it's a great place if you want to go see some waterfalls. If you've never done this, it's a nice sightseeing thing that's very relaxing. People do it in Oregon all the time. If you do go out and see some waterfalls, it's a great way to up your Instagram game. Walhalla has a population of about 4,200 residents, and they get a thumbs up for their crime rate. It's 61% lower than the national average. When you look at their internet, they also get a thumbs up. They have one called Vive Broadband, which offers 1 gig to 80% of the town. They also have AT&T, covers almost 98% of the town, and that's 100 Mbps. And then they have Spectrum offering 1 gig, but they only cover 50% of the town. So you have some options. When you look at their healthcare, they're doing pretty good there too. We're going to give them a thumbs up. They have a clinic in town with some doctors, but 20 minutes to the south, you have Oconee Memorial Hospital in Seneca. They've got the emergency room, everything you're going to need. If you decide you want to buy a house here, you got a lot of options. They've got lots that start off around $25,000 for an acre out in the woods, decent piece of land. You got to build something on it, but they also have homes to choose from. And a decent home starts around $200,000. Really nice ones are $250,000 and above. That's not bad. I'm talking ready to move in. They look like they've been updated. These aren't teardowns or anything like that for $200,000. If you want to go lower than that, you're going to need to do some work, but they do have them. They're around $80,000 to $110,000. Number 3, Woodruff, South Carolina. Woodruff sits about 30 minutes southeast of Greenville, and it has Jimmy's Creek running straight through town, which is the greatest creek in South Carolina if your name is Jimmy. This was just a normal settlement for a long time, and it really didn't boom until the train got there. The railroad was completed in 1885. This caused rapid growth, people and businesses. The oldest home still standing in Woodruff was built in the 1830s, and it's located on Main Street. It was built by Harrison Woodruff and Thomas Squire Jim Westmoreland. When I first read that, I thought it said Squirrel Jim. I'm like, how does someone get a name like Squirrel Jim? But then I looked closer and it was Squire Jim. Squirrel Jim would have been so much better. Woodruff has a population of about 4,100 residents, and they get a thumbs up for their crime rate. It's 63% lower than the national average, which is outstanding. If you look at their internet, they're doing pretty good. They have AT&T internet that gets 5 gig, which is outstanding. Sadly, it only covers 25% of the town, but you also have Spectrum, 1 gig, they cover 80% of the town, and then Frontier Fiber covers 70% of the town. They get a thumbs up for their homes because they got something for every budget, and I mean something for every budget. They got one home that looks like the childhood home of Steve Martin in the movie The Jerk. That's going for $85,000, and they go all the way up to $500,000. But they have newer, small homes that are decent, and those ones start off around $225,000. But they've got a lot of choices and a lot of price ranges, so if you decide you want to go here, you're going to have a lot of options. If you're smart, you get something down near Jimmy's Creek. When it comes to healthcare, they got a couple clinics and a family practice in town along with a dentist. But if you need anything like emergency room, you're going to be heading into Simpsonville, about 20 minutes away. Hillcrest Hospital's right there. Or you need to go to a bigger place, you got Greenville right up the road, about 30 minutes. Number 2, Johnsonville, South Carolina. Johnsonville sits about 30 minutes west of Conway, South Carolina, and about 45 minutes away from Myrtle Beach. Johnsonville was founded in 1913 west of the spot of the former Witherspoon's Ferry on the PD River. This is also where General Francis Marion received his commission for the Revolutionary War. A lot of people don't understand this, and I don't know why, but everyone seems to think that the Revolutionary War only took place in New England for some reason, and New York. They had battles from Maine all the way down to Savannah, Georgia, and inland, and actually on my other channel, On This Day, we talked about how one of the battles, or a siege, happened, the Siege of Gibraltar, which is in the Mediterranean Sea in Europe. Johnsonville had nothing to do with the Siege of Gibraltar, I can assure you of that. Johnsonville has a population of about 1,800 residents, and they get a thumbs up for their crime rate. It's actually 68% below the national average, which is outstanding. Johnsonville gets a thumbs up for their internet. You got 1 gig from FTC, that covers 92% of the town. On top of that, they got Frontier Fiber, 100% of the town, and then they have Spectrum covering 60% of the town, which offers 1 gig. When it comes to real estate, they get a thumbs up also. Decent homes go for around $250,000 to $275,000. You can get cheaper ones that might need a little bit of work. Those can go for $125,000 to $100,000, somewhere in that area. They also have a lot of lots for sale. I'm talking like 10, 20, 30 acres for under $200,000. When it comes to healthcare, they're going to get a thumbs up there too. They have 2 family practices in town and a clinic. If you need a full-blown hospital and all that, you're going to have to go out to Lake City, which has the emergency room, everything you need, and that's about 25 minutes away to the west. As I was researching this video, there's a lot of places in South Carolina that are like an hour away from a hospital, hour and a half away from a hospital in some cases. Some of these small little towns, you got a better chance of being cured by voodoo than you do an actual medical practitioner. I'm sure more than one person has showed up at a hospital in this state missing a finger, and they got like tree sap on their stump. All right, before we get to number 1, don't forget we have another channel. We actually have 2 channels. We have On This Day, which I talk about all the time. We also have a vlogging channel where I put up travel videos and footage of my trips. And also we check in on my pig who's closing in on 200 pounds. Yes, I own a pig named McMuffin. All right, on to number 1. Number 1, Bluffton, South Carolina. Bluffton is one of my favorite places to visit in South Carolina. Bluffton and Charleston, two of my favorite places, pretty much on the East Coast. You know, I'd like to throw Savannah in there too. Three places I like to go: Savannah, Bluffton, and Charleston, and they're all pretty close to each other. Bluffton's the one that I said that's probably a little too big for this list, but it kind of falls into the category. It's kind of away from any of the major metro areas, and it's out by themselves with some other little towns. Kind of breaking the rules on this one, but it's worth it. Bluffton is just inland from Hilton Head, South Carolina, and just north of Savannah, Georgia. Pretty close to the South Carolina-Georgia border. This is a cute little town that's getting kind of popular, and I'm sure a lot of the locals will have something to say in the comment section about me, telling everyone about this gem in the low country. Bluffton has a population of about 15,000 residents, and they get a big thumbs up for their crime rate. It's 69% lower than the national average. When it comes to healthcare, they're going to get a big thumbs up because they've got all kinds of hospitals and urgent cares and family practices. There's nothing medically you got to worry about living in this area. They get a thumbs up when it comes to their internet. Also, they got a company called Hargray. They offer 1 gig fiber to about 90% of the town. They also have Spectrum offering 1 gig to about 75% of the town. So all the internet you need. When it comes to real estate, we're going to give them a thumbs up. They've got a lot to choose from. It's just expensive. Your starting money you want to have ready to spend on a house here is $400,000. That's the bare minimum you're going to get into someplace. They do have some lots that are like $40,000, $50,000. There's one for $100,000, but most of the homes start off around $450,000 and go all the way up to like $2 million. So they've got something for everyone, and they got homes to sell and homes to buy right now. But in my opinion, Bluffton is one of the best towns in South Carolina. They got golf courses, Hilton Head. They've got like 5 different golf courses around here. Hilton Head's got like 3 golf courses. They got fishing all over the place. If you want to enjoy some of that South Carolina summer heat, Bluffton's got all the outdoor activity you need. All right, that's today's video. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Maybe watch one of the other videos that's being suggested to you right now. That really helps out the channel. Everybody have a great day. Be nice to each other.